Hi, I'm Brendan Verrett with VerTac, and these are my first impressions with the Eotech OGL. So something that everybody's been anticipating for quite some time is EOTECH's release of their first IR aiming device, the OGL, which stands for On-Gun Laser. Now, EOTECH has been teasing us for quite some time, and I've been pretty excited that I've been able to get a demo unit to get some first-hand experience. Having seen what they've released on past demos and getting some time at SHOT Show to figure out how it's going to work out and get an idea what it's going to look like on a gun and how it's going to function has been definitely leaving us all wanting to get out on the range and test it out. So I do appreciate the fact that they did send one demo unit for us to try out. Now, I want to note that this is EOTECH's first attempt at an infrared and visible laser aiming device. So one of the things that makes the Eotech OGL pretty unique is the infrared illuminator sliding adjustment lever. The sliding adjustment lever found up here on the top of the unit allows the operator to adjust it left and right so that it can focus the infrared illuminator so that it can be a spotlight for greater distances, or it can be unfocused so that it can be used in a much broader and wider beam for closer distances. Now, one thing I do want to note is that this unit and its infrared illuminator with the protective cap and diffuser off the unit, so not covered, puts out a lot of power. And that is awesome, but the key thing to note is it is very good for outdoors, but not necessarily great for indoors until you put on the diffuser cap. Once you put on the diffuser cap, it works really well indoors. When you have the diffuser cap flipped over to the side, you don't really get enough divergence to utilize it in closer quarters. It ends up getting a really tight hotspot for inside of homes, around vehicles. Therefore, you kind of wash yourself out when you're trying to aim inside. Not the biggest deal, but I did want to highlight that. So the Eotech, phenomenal choice for medium range, but when it comes to the closer ranges, you do have to flip on the diffuser cap and get that on if you're going to use it in the closer quarters without washing yourself out looking through your night vision. Now, another point to mention is the laser fire button is located up on top directly in the center of the box, which is a great place for it for most purposes. Now, the ergonomics of the device itself are good, but they're not great. When I got my hand onto it, I noticed that with where my foregrip is normally placed, that I could not get my thumb up and over the unit into a position where I could fire it comfortably and still then reach forward and maneuver the sliding adjustment lever for the illuminator. That way I could use the fire button and the infrared illuminator adjustment lever comfortably. The other problem was, once you mount the device, especially on the shorter rail, and in this instance I am talking about a 10-inch rail, if you are going to use some sort of white light that is going to be offset to the off side of the gun, which is the right side for us right-handed shooters, not on the left side, it interferes with any type of button that you're going to want to put behind the laser device. If you do put a button closer to the rear of the laser aiming device, it inhibits the ability to get the battery cap off and exchange the battery. So that was one downside. So if you are going to run some type of white light with a pressure switch, you're gonna wanna make sure that there's enough room between the battery cap and the pressure switch for the white light. The other caveat is it made it more difficult to manipulate the laser power selector knob located at the rear. Once you plug in the crane switch and you move the white light pressure switch up against the unit, it made it really difficult to get in there as the space to actuate the infrared power selection lever at the rear was pretty damn tight. So again, not that you're gonna be selecting different power modes all the time, but if you are wearing gloves, it's gonna make it more difficult. So overall first impressions of the EOTech OGL are good. Not phenomenal, not bad. It is a really good device, and I'm really happy to see EOTech jumping into this market because this first attempt at their module is actually really promising. Now, the weight, the form factor, the function of the switches, everything like that so far is really on point. There's a couple things that I would probably like to see done different when it comes to ergonomics of where things are placed and how we can make it slightly better, but this is a really good device, especially for the price point that EOTech is stating they're going to release it at. And at that price point, you're getting an extremely professional grade laser, and I would personally put that slightly above a D-Ball A3, and you're still getting the professional grade output similar to the MAL, the NGAL, and the RAID X. So for you law enforcement guys who are looking to get the most bang for your buck, you're getting a high quality unit with good ergonomics and great output for a great price point. And for you civilian folks who are just getting into night vision, you're going to get a good unit for a solid price. The quality of the Illuminator is very impressive. I didn't get any of that petri dish look. I didn't get any washout. It was a very clean looking Illuminator, and the laser was really crisp on both low and high power. Now, something I wanted to reiterate is that these are just my first impressions on running this device for a limited amount of time. Another feature that I wanted to highlight is the unit's weight. For an all aluminum housing, the weight is actually pretty incredible. Coming in at 8 ounces, which to a lot of other devices is actually pretty light. And the fact that it's centered on the rail definitely is noticeable when you're running the gun faster. I'm Brandon Verrett with VerTac, verrettstactical.com. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.